People living in and around Pulk County saw something unusual in the sky as the sun was setting today. They saw this.
Ever looked up and wondered what mysteries are hiding above? Falling rocks, flashing lights, and inexplicable sights. Our skies hold more than just clouds and stars. Join us as we explore the strangest, most shocking objects that have descended from the heavens. High in the mountains of China, tourists were capturing the breathtaking views when something unexpected appeared in the sky. A long craft, unlike any known aircraft, hovered in the air. It wasn't a plane, and it didn't move like one either. Suddenly, it began leaving a smoky trail, descending fast as if it had lost control. It seemed like it was about to collide at any moment. Later, the truth came out. A commercial Chinese rocket had accidentally launched during a ground test, crashing into a nearby mountain. Luckily, everyone was safe. Hovering glow. A quiet night in Ukraine, a lady stepped onto her balcony to enjoy the stars. But instead of the usual night sky, a white glow caught her eye. It wasn't moving, just hovering in one spot. Then, without warning, it turned red and blue, emitting a beam of light that stretched all the way to the ground. A small craft was also spotted nearby, as if watching over the scene. Rumors spread fast. Some believed it was a UFO scanning for something or someone. That beam of light, it could have been part of what many fear the most, an alien abduction. Fireworks fall. Amazed by seeing fireworks? But you'll surely forget that after watching this. A driver was heading home when he looked up and saw a display of weird, glowing lights, or what looked like fireworks. They were seen descending downwards, leaving smoke trails behind over the city. And suddenly, it turned as if it wanted to go up again. It could be some meteorite sighting, or a spacecraft testing in the air. Well, what's your take on this?
What?
Blue orb. Passengers were waiting for the train at the station when they spotted a giant blue orb. But instead of floating in the air, it was near the ground, glowing. It slowly moved away toward the nearby woods. There's a possibility it might be a UFO, but unlike others, it wasn't flying at high speed. It might have been studying humans from up close, maybe for some mission, or was gathering data that might help them in the future when they finally decide to start residing on Earth. Before we move any further, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you can keep watching our amazing content. Sky Rift. At sunset in the countryside, a villager noticed a white smoky trail emerging from the sun, but attached to it was a shadowy streak stretching across the sky, dividing it into two parts from one horizon to another. No, it wasn't from a rocket. Something about it felt different. He thought it could be a strange phenomenon. A few even believed it was a passage, a doorway between realms that had accidentally opened up. It is said that it disappeared after a while, but the sight left a lasting impact on him. Curious to see it again. Fiery descent. In Dabao, Guangxi, China, on December 26, 2023, a visitor in a mountain village spotted something falling from the sky. A long craft, unlike any drone or airplane, was seen descending fast. It fell, and within moments, red, fiery smoke emerged, just as one would expect after a collision. For a moment, he thought it was a UFO. But then came the shocking news. Debris from the Long March 3B rocket carrying Beidou satellites had fallen. Local authorities arrived to assess the situation, but it was something he wouldn't forget anytime soon. sea vultures. In the Gulf of Mexico, near Islamorada, a group of fishermen set out, expecting a big catch. But as they moved through the sea, they noticed something unsettling. Black creatures floating on the water's surface. Not fish, not turtles, but vultures. It was almost like a warning. The birds looked as if they had fallen from the sky, now drifting lifelessly in the waves. They pulled their nets back, hesitant to go any further. Some blamed sudden weather changes, but locals had a different belief. They called it a dark omen, a curse from an ancient shaman, warning of something yet to come. Car saucer.
Huh? It's the UAP, man.
A strange incident shook Boston. Residents spotted a saucer-shaped craft, not in the sky, but on top of a car. It looked as if it had fallen straight from above. Even stranger, it had unusual rods attached to it, almost like they were meant for sending and receiving signals. A passerby captured the scene, and soon, rumors spread. It might have been a UFO that arrived for a mission that went wrong. For now, the craft remains where it landed. Residents are waiting for UFO experts and authorities to investigate, and maybe reveal something beyond imagination.
This ain't no bullshit, man. That's only in Boston.
Fallen shark. Imagine stepping into your backyard and seeing something lying there. Something that shouldn't be there. It wasn't a fallen branch or a misplaced toy. It was a shark. A real shark. No ocean nearby, no water in sight, just a lifeless 13-inch shark resting on the ground. Authorities suggested a large bird might have dropped it from above, but others have their doubts. Some believe it was caught in a storm, carried by forces we don't understand. And a few whisper that it wasn't meant to be found at all. But one thing's for sure, when the sky starts dropping sharks, maybe it's time to start looking up more often. Icy impact. A CCTV camera in a London street captured something strange. Everything seemed normal until a massive ice block, weighing around 10 kilograms, crashed onto the pavement. It fell from above, out of nowhere, shocking those who saw it. While some reports suggested it was frozen airplane waste, others had different thoughts. What if it wasn't just ice? Some feared it could be a sky creature shedding icy scales as it passed through. If that's true, then who knows what else might be hiding above the clouds? Falling cloud. In Indonesia, workers at a construction site saw something that didn't feel real to them at first. They came across a cloud, seen coming downwards, and almost reached the ground. A single cloud. It seemed impossible, right? Because clouds are too light to fall like that. They ran to witness or even touch it, but it might be water vapor, or who knows, a UFO cloaked in a cloud, secretly traveling and gathering data about humans. Blue descent. Something was glowing in the Florida sky at night. No, not a star or the moon. This was different. On March 30th, a local was heading home when their car's dash camera captured something strange. A giant orb, glowing with a deep blue light, appeared in the sky. It moved fast, descending before vanishing without a trace. Turned out a meteor had burned through the night sky, producing a brilliant blue-green streak. But for those who saw it, the way it moved felt different. Ice crash.
The neighbor next door saw the ice fall from the sky.
A house in tropical Florida had an unexpected visitor. And no, this wasn't a break-in. Whatever it was, it collided straight through the rooftop, leaving a massive hole behind. It was too big to ignore. When experts arrived, they discovered something unusual, a giant piece of ice out of nowhere. The skies were clear, no hailstorms, nothing that could explain it. Neighbors had their own theories. Some believed it was dropped by a UFO. Others thought it was a sign, maybe even a warning.
Next door she actually saw it come down.
Frozen warning.
Nó rất bị chịu nó nhưng mà ra ca mà
China became the center of attention for weird sightings. In the fields, villagers saw giant ice blocks out of nowhere, and they had fallen from the sky for sure, maybe a sign of a storm coming. Scientists tried to blame it on bizarre weather, but locals knew better. They believed it was the work of an ancient creature trapped high above, its icy prison slowly breaking apart, and each falling shard was a warning. It was waking up. Some even feared the next one wouldn't be just ice, but something far worse, ready to descend upon the land. Sky serpent. Imagine looking up at the sky and seeing this, a snake. It was hanging in the sky, twisting and swaying as if it had no weight at all. Travelers on the road spotted the bizarre sight, unsure of what they were looking at. It wasn't floating like a balloon, nor was it flying like a bird. It just hovered there, defying logic. Some believed it was a creature from another world, briefly crossing into ours. Whatever it was, the image of a serpent in the sky was something that wouldn't be forgotten anytime soon. Dark farewell. A clip recently caught attention for strange reasons. A helicopter hovered in the sky, but what made it unsettling was the dark, smoky trail it was leaving behind. It wasn't a malfunction, it was something else. The sight felt eerie, almost unnatural. Witnesses thought it might be someone's ashes being scattered, a final wish carried out in an unusual way. Ashes have been spread over rivers, oceans, and mountains, but this was different. As the dark smoke faded into the sky, one question remained. Was this truly a farewell, or was there more to the story than met the eye? Hidden star. A farmer in Namibia once stumbled upon something strange in his field. It wasn't a rock, and it definitely wasn't normal. Hidden beneath the soil was a massive metallic slab, too heavy to move, too mysterious to ignore. When experts arrived, they uncovered the truth. This was no ordinary discovery. It was the Hoba meteorite, the largest intact meteorite ever found. Weighing 60 tons, it has been resting there for millions of years. Some say it fell silently, leaving no crater. A fallen star that never returned to the sky, still waiting, as if it has more to tell. Fallen device. At farms, we expect to find some cattle, right? But the owners there found something other than that. They came across a giant craft that looked like some satellite or equipment device, with pieces scattered around it. It might have been sent to space, but fell down and ended up there. A part was still attached through a red thread, possibly came out during the fall. Whatever it was, one thing was clear. It was no longer in space, but resting in someone's farm. Rocket descent.
Keeping an eye on the sky this weekend as space debris is expected to fall to Earth.
Chinese residents saw something unusual falling from the sky, leaving a thick, yellowish smoke trail behind. It moved fast, and many feared it might collide at any moment. Authorities searched for it, and soon the truth was revealed. It was a rocket. The news spread quickly, warning everyone to keep an eye on the sky that weekend. Space debris like this doesn't always land. The last time, it collided with buildings in Africa. This time, people could only wait and watch, because when the sky decides to send something down, you never know where it might land next. Smoky being. Something was seen falling from the sky. Not a star, then what? Let's find out. Locals saw a black, smoky being crashing into the fields below. A thick cloud of smoke rose from the impact, making them step back in fear. It looked just like a Dementor from Harry Potter. They didn't dare to check, expecting the authorities to arrive instead. But as they watched from a distance, one thing became clear. This wasn't just a story from a movie. It was real, right in front of them. And whatever it was, they wanted no part of it. Some mysteries are better left untouched, especially when they fall straight from the sky. Green signal. In Germany, people witnessed a sight that left them shocked. A glowing green object appeared in the sky, sending a laser-like beam straight to the ground. It looked like a UFO transmitting a signal, and the eerie glow had everyone talking. But later, the truth was revealed. To celebrate its 100th anniversary, a German laser manufacturer projected a massive laser into the sky near Stuttgart. The laser was visible in the evening and even had built-in safety features, shutting off when aircraft were nearby. What seemed like a mysterious signal from above turned out to be just a celebration, though for many, it still felt like something out of a sci-fi movie. Falling light.
People living in and around Pulk County saw something unusual in the sky as the sun was setting today. They saw this.
People in Pulk County witnessed something unusual as the sun was setting. A fiery object streaked across the sky, falling fast toward the earth. It was bright, almost too big. Some thought it was a crashing plane. Others weren't so sure. Authorities quickly searched the southwest area, expecting to find wreckage, but nothing was there. No signs of a crash, no debris, just silence. Turns out a rare meteor shower was taking place that night, but for those who saw it, the way it fell didn't feel like an ordinary meteor. Fish rain.
You'd probably be skeptical if you heard a weather forecast that called for storms with a light drizzling of fish. It sounds like a biblical plague, but it happened this week in Texas.
Stepping outside after a storm and seeing the ground covered in small, silvery fish is definitely not normal. This was the scene in eastern Texas, where residents found fish scattered across their yards and streets. No one knew how they got there. Some thought of strange signs, while others tried to make sense of it. Later, experts suggested a tornado might have picked them up from a nearby river or sea before dropping them miles away. But for those who witnessed it, the truth didn't matter, because they saw it happen with their own eyes.
So it didn't just hail over here at Walker. We've got fish everywhere.
Serpent drop.
Our natural by avoiding cutting trees. How forest is that?
A live broadcast of a news reporter got interrupted in a village because something fell on him. Want to know what? A snake. Yes, you heard it right. A snake fell on him. He panicked and ran as fast as he could. People had heard of falling stars, but a falling snake was something new. Experts later gave an explanation. Birds of prey sometimes drop their catches mid-flight, if startled. Maybe a hawk or eagle lost its meal. It made sense, but for some, the timing felt too strange, almost like there was more to the story.
How forest is a gift.
Bird collapse.
You may have seen that dramatic video of hundreds of birds literally falling from the sky.
It was a perfectly calm moment in Mexico when the sky turned dark for a split second. A massive shadow moved overhead, and then, without warning, hundreds of birds fell to the ground. It looked almost unreal, like black smoke falling down. Some flew off within seconds, but many didn't make it. The sight left people frozen in place. What could make an entire flock drop like that? Some suspected toxic fumes or even an invisible force, but experts believe the birds were escaping a predator, likely a hawk or falcon striking midair. A chase so intense, it ended in freefall. Skyfall flock. Bali is known for its peaceful surroundings, but one morning, the sky above a cemetery became the center of attention. A large flock of birds suddenly fell from the air, covering the ground. It was an unexpected and mysterious sight. At first, experts thought it might have been due to the weather, as heavy rain had passed through. Others suggested it could be linked to natural causes in the environment, but seeing so many birds fall at once left people wondering. Nature has its ways, and sometimes it unfolds in ways no one can predict. Chicken storm. A video uploaded online caught everyone's attention. It showed chickens falling from the sky in Saudi Arabia. It seemed unbelievable, and people couldn't understand what was happening. As the video spread, researchers stepped in to explain. It wasn't a rain of chickens, but a tornado had swept them up, carrying them high into the air. When the wind settled, they started falling back down. What began as a bizarre mystery turned out to have a logical explanation, but for those who saw it happen, it was a sight they wouldn't forget. Fish Street. Fish are meant to be in the sea or rivers, not on roads. But one day in India, locals found live fish scattered across the street, flipping and moving as if they had no idea how they got there. People gathered in shock, watching this strange sight and thinking of ways to return them to their natural habitat. The reason? It was a rare case of animal rain. Strong winds or tornadoes passing over water had lifted the fish into the sky, carrying them miles away before dropping them. It may sound impossible, but the world sometimes creates the most bizarre spectacles. Worm rain. In Liaoning, China, people walked the streets as usual until they noticed something strange. Small creatures were falling from the sky, landing on cars and sidewalks. Residents quickly opened umbrellas, unsure of what was happening. It looked like a scene from a movie. At first, no one could believe it. Worms raining from above? But later, the truth was revealed. Strong whirlpools can sometimes lift small creatures into the air, carrying them over long distances before dropping them elsewhere. But imagine looking up, expecting raindrops, and seeing worms instead. Strange, right? Spider rain. In Brazil, people looked up and froze. Hundreds of spiders seemed to be falling from the sky. The footage spread quickly, making headlines and leaving many unsettled. Experts called it ballooning, a survival trick where spiders release silk threads to catch the wind and travel long distances. On hot, humid days, they do this in large groups, creating the illusion of a spider rain. But locals weren't convinced. They spoke of the curse of the mountain, a legend warning that disturbing sacred land could bring swarms of creatures as punishment. That day, it was spiders. But according to the legend, they were only the beginning. Falling birds. The sky should be a place for birds to soar, but in India, it became a place of collapse. One by one, birds started falling, their wings failing mid-flight. At first, no one knew why. There was no storm, no sign of sickness. But as experts examined the birds, the answer came out. The extreme heat had drained their strength, leaving them too weak to stay in the air. With water sources disappearing, survival became a battle they couldn't win. As temperatures kept rising, this wasn't just a problem for birds. It was a warning for everyone. Golden rain. A strange scene unfolded in one of Hong Kong's poorest neighborhoods, as people were going about their day when, without warning, something unusual started falling from the sky. It was as if the world had paused for a moment. The crowd stood frozen as bills fell down like leaves. At first, no one understood what was happening, but then it became clear. Banknotes were raining down from above. People rushed to collect what they could, their minds racing with disbelief. Officers quickly arrived at the scene, urging the crowd not to take the money. It felt like a dream, but it was real. Golden drop. The runway at Yakutsk Airport had seen many flights, but that day, something unexpected happened. As a plane took off, a sudden shake sent objects falling from underneath, hitting the ground below. Airport workers ran toward the scattered pieces. Whatever had fallen was heavy under the cold Siberian sun. It wasn't just broken cargo or any ordinary debris. Lying across the runway were gold bars. Yes, you heard it right. A fortune had just fallen from the sky. Mystery jelly. Do you expect rain to be normal? Well, not in Oakville, Washington, on August 7th, 1994. Instead of water, a strange gelatinous substance fell from the sky, covering everything. When samples were tested, scientists found something surprising: tiny cells that looked like human white blood cells. Some believed it was linked to military experiments, while others suggested more unusual theories. But the truth? No one ever discovered where the mysterious rain came from. Some questions are better left unanswered. Star jelly.
There's some kind of jelly fungus here, at the base of our raspberry bushes.
A strange discovery was made near raspberry bushes in West Virginia. A cold, clear jelly clung to the soil, shining like crystals, but feeling slimy to the touch. People guessed it was just some fungus or algae brought to life by heavy rain. They called it star jelly, a substance whispered about for ages, something that didn't grow from the earth, but instead drifted down from the sky. Days later, the jelly melted away, leaving nothing but rumors. Maybe it was just nature's trick, or something far less natural.
I suppose that's a rare delicacy. Someone's gonna come here.
It's not caviar.
Metal spheres. In January 2016, strange metal spheres started falling from the sky in Vietnam's Yen Bai province. Locals were shocked to find these objects scattered across fields, the largest sphere nearly 100 pounds. As whispers of UFOs spread, military teams quickly arrived to investigate, but no clear explanation was given. These spheres weren't just seen in Vietnam. They showed up in other parts of the world too, including Spain, Australia, and Africa. Experts are still studying these objects, and the results might reveal something even more surprising. In another instance, locals in a Peruvian village found 3 metal spheres fallen from the sky. Ice plunge.
Take a look at this demolished car in New York City. It's fallen ice that is to blame here. A massive chunk of ice falling 20 stories from a building right onto somebody's car. Thankfully, no one was in the car when this happened.
In New York City, a car was found severely affected by a massive chunk of ice. People gathered around trying to make sense of the strange event. Authorities responded quickly, but no one could explain where the ice came from. It had fallen from 20 stories above, yet no one saw it drop. Some speculated it could be a freak accident, while others whispered about the possibility of something more unusual at play. Was it just ice? Or could there be another explanation? Remember to look up when walking in the city. Risk can come from above. Falling clouds. Clouds seemed to fall from the sky on Yemen's heights, covering the land in a soft, white layer. People watched in shock as some floated above the ground, drifting like mist. It wasn't snow, but it looked just as surreal. A sudden temperature drop and high moisture had caused the clouds to settle low, creating this rare sight. For those who saw it, it felt almost otherworldly, a moment where nature blurred the lines between the sky and the earth. Coco storm. Imagine stepping outside and seeing the ground covered in brown flakes. It wasn't dirt and dust. A sweet aroma filled the air, making people stop and stare. It felt like something out of a dream. Tiny chocolate-like particles drifting down from the sky, coating streets and rooftops. No one knew what was happening. Some even tried tasting it. The truth? A nearby candy factory had a ventilation malfunction, sending cocoa powder into the air. Strong winds did the rest. For a moment, it really did feel like a dream. Money rain. Locals in Dubai found thin, fluttering pieces drifting down, covering the streets. People grabbed what they could, barely believing it. It was money. 500 AED notes scattered across roads, stopping traffic in its tracks. The reason was that a transport van reportedly lost its load, turning the streets into a frenzy. Some called it luck, others chaos. Either way, for those who were there, it was a day when the sky paid out. Flying sofa. Something big was flying in the sky, moving like it had a life of its own. People watched as it hit buildings, bouncing like a toy in the wind. Some thought it was something strange, maybe even supernatural. But the truth was simple. Strong winds had lifted a sofa from a 35-story balcony, sending it flying across Anchorage. Not something you see every day. But one thing's clear. This was not how anyone planned to move their furniture. Sky ice.
Sunny day with temperatures in the 80s, a huge chunk of ice smashing into a home.
In Montgomery County, a loud noise broke the quiet afternoon. People stepped outside to find chunks of ice scattered across a yard, some buried deep in the ground. no storm, no snow. It was ice falling from the sky on a warm day. Some feared it was something else, but the answer was up above. Experts later said it likely fell from a passing plane. Looks like not everything that falls from the sky is a blessing.
We moved here from California about 6 months ago, get away from earthquakes and fires, and in the past week we've seen fires and ice falling from the sky.
Space rock. In Prince Edward Island, Canada, a man returned home and noticed a strange mark on his walkway. He checked his doorbell camera and saw something unusual, an object falling fast from the sky and hitting the ground. Experts later confirmed it was a meteorite, making this the first ever meteorite impact recorded with both video and sound. It's not every day you get proof that space just sent something straight to your doorstep. Cash storm. In California, drivers on a busy highway couldn't believe their eyes. Cash was scattered all over the road, and people rushed to grab it. Some cheered, others stood in shock. It felt unreal. Money flew everywhere, covering the highway in $20 bills. It didn't take long for cars to stop, with people scooping up as much as they could. It was like something out of a movie. But where did it all come from? A Brinks truck had been driving by when its rear door suddenly swung open, spilling thousands of dollars onto the road. Just like that, an ordinary drive turned into a once-in-a-lifetime moment.
This is the most insane thing I've ever seen. Someone dropped money all over the freeway. San Diego has shut down.
Frozen fall.
Oh my God.
Florida residents woke up to a bizarre sight. Iguanas were lying motionless on the ground. Giant green creatures with tails had fallen from trees. One woman stepped outside and froze. The sight was unreal. Unmoving iguanas everywhere. Another local spotted a massive one on the street, seemingly frozen in place. It looked lifeless. The sudden temperature drop had left the cold-blooded reptiles paralyzed, unable to move. But as the sun warmed them up, some slowly started coming back. A strange phenomenon, but not unheard of in Florida's unpredictable weather.
Frozen lizard. Frozen lizard.
Open discussion. Chile witnessed a sight that left people speechless. A powerful beam came down from the sky, striking the road with force. Within seconds, fiery smoke rose, spreading confusion and fear. Locals stared in shock. Some whispered about a hidden creature in the clouds, a dragon sending a warning. Others were sure this was beyond anything natural, something not from this world. A UFO, maybe? Could this have been an attempt to take someone from the road? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.